like they're hiding something because they haven't processed it, and they'll still be holding the old memories and the old charge. They're just trying to pretend it never happened. And that's going to have a heaviness to it. They're still carrying something. And then another person's going to have reflected and sort of leveraged the past in a way that's going to allow them to be a more effective person. They're going to be on a path of bettering themselves as a result of it. There'll be no baggage there whatsoever.
Wow, that's so interesting. Like you act as a little bit as a psychologist, we could say, to anyone who's interested in doing a tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo psychology. It's definitely an area of interest.
Hmm. What would you
Hmm.
say? I think I can guess the answer by now, but you tell me. What would you say for someone who is looking for to do their first ever tattoo with you?
First ever tattoo. I think, the first ever tattoo is an exciting time. It's a big one. Usually there's a lot more nervousness around it, and it's a big thing a lot of the time. Especially
Mm.
if someone ends up coming to me for their first tattoo. I don't sort of end up with people that are making random choices so much. There's less of that. So usually when I'm working with someone, it's like, yeah, it's great. There's this excitement there and this nervousness that's really beautiful because it's a big step. They're usually acknowledging how big that step is, crossing over that threshold from, not having any tattoos to having tattoos. So I'm just always trying to help them get off on the right foot. And, a lot of the time, some of the things, the patterns that show up is that there's lots of ideas that they want to put into something that's really small, or they want to sort of capture the whole story. They want to capture the whole story in one small marking, you know. So usually there's a bit of just filtering their idea or distilling it, boiling it down to what's actually necessary, and also trying to remove the I don't know, like the scum layer, which is the influence we were talking about before. So like let's say that young boy with the venom face looked like it was his first tattoo. If he came to me, I would be validating that he wants to get tattooed because, like we said earlier, it's a natural thing. So he's probably at a stage where the idea or the prospect of getting tattooed is something that's coming up for him because he's changing and he wants to mark that. Yeah. And so I'd go into a process of acknowledging where he's at, and saying like I'd be happy to offer guidance and move him through a process, but I absolutely would not tattoo his face. And that venom is absolutely not the right thing for him to identify with at this point in time. And he could say that I'm wrong. I'm not him, right? But I've got more experience than he does. This is his first time, whereas I've worked with a lot of people. So I'd offer him this layer, and I'd try and extract and separate his desire to get tattooed from his idea, which is completely, what would the word be? We'll just keep going with the word scum. It's impure. So we're trying to sort of purify what he's doing. We're trying to remove the things that are impure from the things that are just naturally being activated that are there for him. So to show him what's there, that he's being moved by, that is totally totally not a bad thing, and then trying to bring this layer of influence off the top so we can see the act for what it's meant to be, which is a process of changing and acknowledging and remembering, right? Yeah, so that's kind of how I'd go about it.
Damn, that's beautiful. And you're just like making sure they don't regret later, right? Like they don't do like such an altering decision in their lives they're gonna regret later. And I was trying to think about an analogy to it, and there's a very strong one that came to my mind. I know that there's a lot of young people. I don't know the percentage, so I won't say the percentage, but I know there's a high number of people or children that at a young age identify with sex and later do the transition,
Mm.
right? And later in life regret
Mhm.
it. I don't know how much, we can look it up, but it's like one of those decisions that maybe you should look a little bit more carefully, more like calmly. It's not something that you should do like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. The gender transition stuff for children is absolutely criminal for the same reason. For the same reason, it's like, they're these permanent alterations to someone when they're at a stage where identity isn't fully formed, you know. Um, so yeah, I'm not for that. I think at a later stage, that's something that people can navigate. I've got friends, people that are dear to me, clients that I've worked with that have actively gone through transitional processes and stuff, and they're cool. They're beautiful people. There's nothing there that I disagree with. But for kids, yeah, that's a whole nother layer, and it's similar with the tattoo thing. It's like if you're a full grown man or woman, and you want to go get your face venomed out, it's like we can go into the psychology of it. There's lots there that we can unpack, But at the end of the day, the thing I do is try and understand how someone got to that form. I'd still try and give someone sound guidance around it and allow them to sort of unpack and undo a lot of things that have maybe landed them in a place where they felt like they want to identify with something like that, something that's so extreme and obviously not who they are. It's obviously not who they are. Someone's not Venom, even if they think they are Venom, right? Um,
Yeah.
but I'd be gentle about it. I wouldn't do it for them, but who am I to say whether or not they should get that done? Uh, I just, life's like choose your own journey
Yeah.
type of situation. So I just offer a very specific path, for people that choose to go down that one. And it's one that's like really founded in things that are real. Firstly, it has to be reality. Like we said, no self-idolization. We're not doing fantasy. Yeah, we're not tattooing things on you that aren't real. We're doing things that are good. Okay. And like we said, so this is like whether it's regenerative or degenerative, we're doing something that's hopefully going to move you forward in a way that's positive, you know, and then it's got to be true. So we're not about, again, it's kind of links with the reality one a little bit, but it's deeper. The true and false is deeper than the fantasy, because it's like when they believe the fantasy. So when someone's in complete illusion, or deception of self deception's pretty big these days too. So yeah.
Damn. A lot of food for thought there.
Damn. Yeah, man.
Love it. Okay, Mark, I have to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
You cannot answer okay? You cannot be that. Who is your who is your favorite tattoo artist?
Who is my favorite tattoo artist?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll frame it up before I get there.